Hello all, welcome to another week of Lose It With Me. I'm your man Charles Tank Harris. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been watching the videos thus far. I know I always start off with a thank you, but that's because I'm incredibly appreciative to those of you who have decided to look in and check on me during this journey. I'm also very, very elated and appreciative to those of you who are also out there trying to lose weight and losing weight. And if anything that I do or say from this post can be helpful to you, then that's a blessing, and I'm very appreciative that I'm having a ability to affect positive change in your life. I just recently returned back home to the Atlanta area from my first and original hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, South Jersey, where they were affected and in some cases damaged quite severely by Hurricane Sandy. I'm glad to report that my mother, who lives in South Jersey, and my mother-in-law and my relatives pretty much were all inconvenienced but generally unscathed. My heart goes out to those victims of the hurricane and torrential downpours and who were negatively affected. I pray that everything is coming along with a speedy recovery. My heart goes out to you and your family. With that being said, I was up in Philadelphia doing traveling as I normally do. Had an opportunity to get back in the gym. I went to the LA Fitness in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Shout out to LA Fitness in Cherry Hill. Half the lights were out in the place, half the treadmills were off because they did have power interruptions, but I did not let it stop me from getting my workout in. I had taken 4 days off from working out. I would love to say that the primary reason I did it was because I was having some knee pain, but that wasn't the primary reason. The primary reason was just I got caught up in my travel schedule, a minor bit of laziness, and I let obstacles that I'm trying to fight through on a normal basis get the better of me, and I justified it by my knee pain. I did have some knee pain. It wasn't severe enough to miss a workout, but it was enough for me to justify that I was giving my knee a break. I will say this, as I've reported in previous videos, that I'm a former college football player, and as a result, I've been through some very serious training regimens in my day. I've also had the benefit of training table, which is how they feed you when you're a college athlete. So I have some nutritional understanding as well. That is not to say that I'm an expert in either field. It's just to say that I do have some experience and some understanding as to what it takes to reach an ideal weight, what an ideal weight is, and what the process is as far as working out and eating correctly is. I will say that in the years that I've allowed myself to gain the majority of my weight and thus have been away from a healthier lifestyle, eating correctly, working out the proper amount of hours in a day, the days of a week, I have discounted how important rest is. I can't say this enough to those of you who are embarking on this journey with me. I understand your mindset. One of the reasons I started this video, like I said before, is I feel as though there is a void in the market for people who are severely overweight getting help from personal trainers. The average personal trainer, and even the above average personal trainer, is so myopic in their views of what it takes to get in shape because, let's face it, the majority of them were never severely morbidly obese. They were maybe slightly out of shape and decided to get in shape, or they've always been in excellent shape. And it's not their fault, but when you come from a position of that mindset, it's hard to relate to someone who comes from a different mindset. So with that being said, I realize in working out, when you're very heavy, you want to see results. And results can sometimes be fast, sometimes results can be very slow. Sometimes you can have very fast results, but it just not be enough. That has often happened to me. I've lost 20 pounds before, which, people jump up and down and clap their hands for that weight loss, but when you're 480 pounds, losing 20 pounds means you're 460, which is still severely overweight, severely large to look at. And when you look at yourself, you say, I haven't made any progress. And what that normally does, especially if you're competitive like me, it makes you want to go even harder. And the reality, what I keep trying to hammer home on these videos is, this is not about going harder. This is about making changes to your life that you can sustain forever. Because if you go hard for a year and lose 250 pounds and celebrate by slacking off and doing various things to get you back in the mindset that you were before you lost the 250, you're going to be big again. So I don't want you to focus on that. As I've even said, I don't have a weight goal so much as I have a waist goal. And my desire is to become the owner of a lifestyle that will always put health first. And that's a severe and significant change from the lifestyle that I've normally led. So with that being said, I want to say, don't beat yourself up in the gym or even at the table trying to figure out how you're going to lose weight. Because if you go through one great day of eating oatmeal for breakfast, fruit and salad for lunch, and grilled chicken for dinner and think that you've done something great, but the next day, because you feel like you've starved yourself or restricted yourself, you have a bag of Skittles and a pizza, you failed. And that's not your goal. Your goal is to eat a little better every day, work out a little more every day, and develop a lifestyle that's sustainable and that is healthy and that leads to a better you. I took those 4 days off from the gym, and like I said, I wasn't proud that I had did it. However, when I drug my ass to the gym Thursday and got on the treadmill, I decided, at first my fear was I'm not in as good a shape as I was in 4 days ago. I should maybe go back a little bit on the treadmill. Instead, I did just the opposite. I took my incline from 11.5% to 12% at the same speeds that I had performed on that previous Sunday. And it was the easiest treadmill workout I've had since I've been working out. The easiest, and I lie to you not. And all I can attribute that to is rest. I had 4 days off. I thought from a cardiovascular standpoint, I would have lost something in that 4 day period of being off, but my body responded wonderfully to having the time off. My knee didn't feel bad. I'm now at my level 10 on the treadmill is a 6 mile per hour run, which once again, for someone 470 pounds, that's difficult. And I'm doing it at a 12% incline. And I was able to do it fairly easy, I can honestly say. Now, what I found to be kind of ironic is Friday when I went back in, I performed this same treadmill workout in a different lifting workout because I switched my muscle groups, and it was hard on Friday. So all I can say is, in my mind, my workouts should not necessarily get easier every day, but I should be able to do the next workout based on the fact in my mind that I improved over the previous day. So if I did it yesterday, my mindset is I can do it today. And I found the Friday workout to be harder to get through than the Thursday workout because it was back-to-back workouts, like they say in the NBA, back-to-back games, and you get tired on that second game. That 4 days of rest did me wonders. I'm not saying that to advocate taking many days off and working out. That's not what you should do. You should have a regimen. I have 3 days on, 1 day off. But today is a day off for me. I worked out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm off today, which is Monday. And I can honestly say to you that I need this day off. I felt so tired muscularly this morning. My son had crawled up into the bed and was laying on me. It was time to get him up for school. His mother was calling him. I was trying to lift him and give him to her. I couldn't do it. Like, I was beat. My arms are tired. My shoulders. I did shoulders and arms yesterday, and I was tired. So I'm eating a lot of protein today, which is good for muscle repair. And I fully expect to be good to go in the gym tomorrow. But I just needed that day of recuperation. We all need that rest, and that's the point I'm trying to hammer home. So, with all that being said, I want to address a topic that's come up in a few of the personal messages that I received on both my Facebook page and on the YouTube page about bariatric surgery. I told a couple of the listeners and people who have subscribed to this page that I would address it at length, and I want to do that today since it's not a weigh-in day. It can have its own time and topic. I am a fan of any method, procedure, surgery, lifestyle change that anyone can make to achieve overall healthiness. I am a fan of it. There is no one method, in my opinion, that is better than another method. There can only be a method that works best for you, whereas another one may not work best for you. So when people ask me about bariatric surgery, and I tell them that it's not for Charles Tank Harris, I have a reason for that. And it's not to say that I don't think it's a good idea. I went as far as to attend an open house in Georgia for bariatric surgery, because a lot of my friends they love me, they're concerned about my weight, they don't want me to keel over from a heart attack. And they said, Tank, your clock may be ticking. You need to get this done right away. You've made efforts on your own in the past and it hasn't worked. So please just go listen to what these people have to say. So I did. And I heard many options of different types of surgery when I went to the open house. But the question I had for the physician when everything was said and done was one of my bigger fears with dealing with the surgery. and that was, do you have the ability to eat yourself back to the pre-surgery weight? And by that I mean, when I was a 4-year-old, I was a skinny child. I saw pictures of myself getting ready to go to preschool and whatnot, and I'm this big now. So clearly, you can take a small stomach, eat enough food to make it a big stomach. That is obvious, and I guess no one could argue a fact. I don't see where having a surgery, for me, that reduces the size of my stomach and temporarily restrains the amount of food that I can eat and gives me an expedited period of weight loss, where it would change the underlying personality flaws that I've acquired over the years, to not depend on food in a negative way and thus eat myself back to my pre-surgery weight. So, the doctor went on to say that there are counseling programs and this, and that. But I said, all that's great. Just answer my question. Can you do this? Can you eat yourself back to this weight? And, reluctantly, and I say reluctantly because he's trying to sell a surgery, so he doesn't want to admit to the failures that may happen from the surgery. Reluctantly, he did admit, yes, it is possible. And that was all I needed to hear, because I'm telling you, for me, if it's possible, I would do it. And I don't want that to be the case. I don't want to spend an obscene amount of money on a surgery. I don't want to open myself up to the risks of anesthesia and surgery in general and recovery, just to have the possibility of eating myself back into poor shape. I realize that for me, the journey is to feel healthier with life, to not be so addicted to the negative traits that come from overindulging. And that's one of my problems. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I'm pretty flamboyant, over the top guy. I push the envelope and the limit in everything. And I've tried to explain to people before, it's very difficult if you see someone who has certain personality traits to not note that those personality traits exist in every area of their life. So you can't just be a maximum person in one area and not be a maximum person in another area. I shouldn't say you can't do it. It's very rare that gets done. You find people who have good constraint, restraint, and discipline, and they normally have that in every area of their life. I'm a risk taker. I don't have a lot of discipline, a lot of restraint, and in a lot of areas of my life, it has served me well. It served me well in school. It served me well in business. It served me well in athletics. It has not served me well as it pertains to food. I want whatever I want, whenever I want it, and I'll be damned if anybody tells me I can't have it. And as a result, you see the residual effect of not setting limitations on yourself when it manifests itself in almost 500 pounds of weight. So what I'm teaching myself now is discipline. What I'm teaching myself now is restraint. What I am doing is trying to enjoy the moment without totally immersing myself in the enjoyment of that moment. I am realizing that there is something to be said about sacrificing today so that your tomorrows have more meaning to them. And there's old cliches and adages of nothing worthwhile comes easy, and just putting in hard work. And those are the things that I'm finding that I need to do more on a daily basis. So with working out, I'll be honest with you, so far it sucks. It hasn't been a point yet where a switch has went off and I'm like, oh, I got to get in the gym. I love this. And some people may say that'll never happen. I disagree. When I played football, once again, we're talking 1990. We're talking about, 22 years ago. I remember among some of my teammates that I wanted to work out 4 or 5 times a day. Me and my best friend went to Howard for their homecoming, for our, not their homecoming, Howard's campus during our spring break at Temple. We drove down to Howard just to, get a taste of the HBCU experience, chase after some women, do things that we like to do. And it was right before spring football was supposed to start for us. And I'm out there at Howard's weight room working out on their football field, running fits. And my buddy's like, dude, calm down. We're not at school. We don't have to work out. But I loved working out. It was something that I wanted to do all the time, and I was in shape and I had the energy to go do it. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm looking to hit that quote unquote second wind in my workouts, but I think that for me, it's going to take some time. Now, back on the surgery trait, there's another thing for me that, and once again, I'm being very careful in how I select my words, because I don't want anyone to listen to this, hear me say something negative about surgery or why it doesn't work for me, and think that it's not the answer for them. I truly encourage you to explore any possibility that may work for you. You may be the type of person that just needs to get 100 pounds off you, and then everything would be fine. You know, that surgery could solve that. It's not the answer for me. If I lost 100 pounds and still thought that Twinkies were good for breakfast, that surgery didn't help me. So back to surgery, I want to be an example of hard work. I want to be an example of overcoming what seems to be unsurmountable odds for my children. And it's not just weight related. I do have some of my children who are heavier, some of my children are skinny. I mean, it kind of runs the gamut. But just in general, it might not, for me, school came easy. I was very bright. For one of my children, it might not. You know, math may be difficult, which is, you know, laughable to me because I was almost a math major. I was an actuarial science major. And when I sit down and tell them, just keep working hard at the math, it'll come to you, the hard work will pay off. I don't want them turning to me and saying, well, Daddy, you were heavy, and instead of working hard, you went and had surgery and got a quick fix. So I'm gonna use my calculator. And that may be a bad analogy to some people, but to me that does make sense, that I want to always be the example to them of anything is possible, you can do anything, and for me, the biggest visible obstacle that most people see when they look at me is my weight. And I'm excited at the thought of losing weight and just seeing the faces of people who thought that it couldn't be done, not only for myself, but for others that they know, love, or maybe even themselves, and being able to be an example of, yes, you can get this done. So with that being said, I personally have decided against bariatric surgery, but I do encourage anyone out there who's facing insurmountable odds of getting the support that they may need, doing it before they reach a certain age where exercise is still doable. Anybody can exercise. 90-year-olds, 100-year-old people are exercising, trust me. But where it starts to get a little more, you're caught up in your everyday life and set into some bad habits, maybe there isn't an out for you in doing the surgery. For me, it just didn't fit my lifestyle. As fad diets aren't fitting my lifestyle. What I have to do is learn to eat the right way on a daily basis. And I have the obstacle of traveling a lot, which sometimes you get to a hotel and the gym is not up to snuff with what you're used to working out with, or the food options seem to always be very, very unhealthy. Life is not set up just to bring you down, and that's something I have to tell myself every day and realize that the hotel's not out to get me if they only have, one bike in their gym and it doesn't fit me. It's just, it doesn't work out that way for me. I have to do something else, maybe walk in the stairwell or go to a LA Fitness nearby. So there's always a way to achieve. Anyway, I always try to keep the videos under 20 minutes, and we're turning into 18 minutes now. So I hope this answers some of the questions about the bariatric surgery and why I'm choosing to do things the way I'm doing it. I will be back a week from Monday. I'm going to Vegas for the Soul Train Music Awards this week. The live shooting of them, they don't air until later in the month. I'll be working out the whole time I'm there. I'll be watching what I eat the whole time I'm there. I encourage you guys to keep tuning in, to keep checking on the video, to keep checking on the Facebook page. I want you all to continue a healthy lifestyle and lose it with me. Love you all. Thank you. Goodbye.